Welcome to Wisconsin in Focus. I'm JD Davidson. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife made a decision this week that should keep fishermen, environmentalists, and many others happy in Wisconsin when it said the lake sturgeon would be kept off the endangered species list. It was a decision cheered by many. Joining us today is Ben Yount, Wisconsin contributor for the Center Square. Ben, there's a lot of history with the sturgeon. Tell us more about this decision.
This is something that Wisconsin outdoorsmen, and whenever we talk about anything that is environmental, there are conservationists, there are outdoorsmen, and there are environmentalists. And while they all generally like many of the same things, there are enough differences to oftentimes put them at odds. But this is a decision that is being cheered by outdoorsmen as much as anything here in Wisconsin, because the lake sturgeon, it's the big fish, and you hunt it with a spear, and it's a very popular spring activity, particularly once you get sort of north of the Milwaukee area. Certainly get up the lakes near the Fox Valley, it's by Green Bay, and even further north, it is a springtime tradition to go out on the ice and bam, and get your sturgeon. It's where a lot of the American caviar comes from, by the way, if you're wondering the etymology of your food, the origin of your food. But this is one of these decisions that there was a judge in Illinois that ordered Fish and Wildlife to consider whether or not the sturgeon needs to be protected, to be saved from fishermen. And the response in Wisconsin is no, we in this state have done a very responsible job with managing our population. And so to get the final word from Fish and Wildlife that the sturgeon is not going to be added to the protected list, which means that sturgeon spearing season will continue for years to come, outdoorsmen really like the decision. Wisconsin's Department of Natural Resources says that they are aware of the decision and that they are reviewing what it means for their sturgeon master plan, which doesn't quite sound as enthusiastic as the fishermen's response.
A couple of things. One, it's not an ordinary fish. Am I right?
No, it's huge. It's prehistoric and it's huge. If you go to an awful lot of supper clubs in Wisconsin, particularly on a Friday for fish fry, you'll see one of these things mounted to the wall. They're very, very big. They look rather scary. Again, you don't go out there and drop your fishing line into the lake and wait. You got to hunt that thing with a spear. And so, yeah, again, people who go sturgeon fishing, they love to get the pictures with it. They love to have this trophy fish. But, if you are someone who has never been to the outdoors in northern Wisconsin and you see somebody stab a big fish with a giant metal spear, you might be a little put off by it. But no, the sturgeon is a great fish. And it is very popular in northern colder climates. It's, they got a great sturgeon spearing season, over in Minnesota as well. But, yeah, this is, if you've ever seen one, you've seen one. This isn't confusing the largemouth bass or the smallmouth bass. Is that a crappie or a bluegill? No, sturgeon is a sturgeon. You know it when you see it.
It's fascinating because it's a prehistoric fish. It seems so, or such a tradition-rich thing for Wisconsin. It seems so Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is, again, this is something that people do. It's deer hunting, but even more localized. And this is where I was talking about that split between outdoorsmen and conservationists and environmentalists, that there really is a broad, deep disagreement over how to use the land. And we've seen this before with Wisconsin's DNR. The wolf hunting plan is a perfect example of this, that you have outdoorsmen who want a wolf hunting season because they hunt and they trap and they go into the woods. You have conservationists who want a wolf hunting season because, well, if you let the wolf population grow too large, the deer population starts to shrink, and then the cow population starts to shrink, and then the dog population wants to shrink. But you have environmentalists who see it differently. They don't want hunters. They don't want trappers. They want natural resources protected from man. And so while they all want to see Wisconsin with healthy outdoor traditions, they all want to see Wisconsin with beautiful lakes and forests and rivers, how you get there, how you get from A to B to Z, that's where you vary widely. And that's why I said that, the DNR says it is aware of the decision. You, by the way, you never say that you're aware of something that you're happy about. I'm aware that today is Christmas. You just don't use that kind of language, and that they are reviewing under their own Sturgeon master plan. This is an agency that under our Democratic governor has been led by people who have a very environmental focus, which puts the DNR at odds sometimes with outdoorsmen and even conservationists in the state. Again, conservationists want to protect the natural environment, but they also want to use the woods, the lakes, the rivers, and they want to help manage the population of all manners of woodland creatures and even those prehistoric fish swimming beneath the ice.
What I took from your story that you wrote earlier this week and we published was at a basic level, this is how things are supposed to work. There was a state plan. They managed to manage the sturgeon population, and it's where it needs to be, and the tradition can continue in Wisconsin. Is that not how it's supposed to work? The 50 laboratories of democracy are a thing. And there really is an idea that Wisconsin's sturgeon population is going to be different from Illinois, from Kentucky, I don't know if they have sturgeon in Florida, but your natural resources, your deer population, your bear population, your duck population, your fill in the blank is going to be different from state to state. And this was a judge in Illinois that was taking a look at how to protect fish in Illinois. Well, it's a vastly different situation. I mean, Illinois is twice the size, both in population and in landmass. It doesn't have the same kind of distribution of lakes, distribution of woods. The Chicagoland area in the northeastern corner of Illinois is the crowded, populated population center. In Wisconsin, the northeastern corner is Green Bay and Door County, and you get 5 minutes away from Lambeau Field, and it's a completely different state. And so, this is a state process. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources works on its own management plans. And this is the tension that we have, right? I mean, we write about this all the time, the tension between federal laws and state laws, particularly when there's a division between, a Democratic administration in a state, a Republican administration in Washington, D.C. Here we happen to have Democratic administrations in both Madison and Washington, D.C. But this is kind of how it's supposed to work with a lot of things. States get to decide what the state law is. And it gets kind of tricky, complicated when you have federal courts coming in and saying, well, no, you have to change the rules because, again, our elected officials don't vote on what the courts decide. A rule from Fish and Wildlife is not going through Congress. It's not going through the Wisconsin state legislature. So, there's a whole bunch of federalist and anti-federalist conversations that we could have. But I still have to finish watching John Adams on HBO, so I don't know that we're ready to have those yet. I found this as a completely interesting story. Ben, thanks for joining us today. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.